This is my July 2024 visit to Brunswick Railyard, and it's right next. You can see the Potomac River over there on the right. I don't know if it was because of 911 or Homeland Security decided, but you can't. You can't fly over any critical infrastructure, and highways and now railroads are critical infrastructure, so I can't actually fly over. I think you can fly over the rails, but you can't fly over trains. But just to be on the safe side, I'm not going to fly over either. So the tour is going to start on the north end of the rail yard. And you can see that big green patch right there. It's coming into view on the left side of the screen. That's the turntable for the roundhouse. Back from when they had steam, the steam locomotives were in there, and the roundhouse was there. I remember seeing it when I was a kid. But I think what happened was now it's center screen right there. I think what it was is we had a really bad tropical storm called Agnes back in like 71, 72. It was like 2 weeks of rain with a really bad storm. I think it was either in the middle or at the end of the rain. And believe it or not, this whole area you're looking at now, the whole rail yard was about 10 feet underwater. And I think it destroyed the roundhouse. I think it was like, if it was like when they were still using steam trains, they would have fixed it, but there was no sense repairing it. I think they just stored like junk in it and stuff. And you don't need it for the diesels. So they just tore it down. And we're moving south down the rail yard. And there's their repair shed. And they have something called train days back in the not back, but they have train days in, I think it's September or October, and they let you ride. They have train rides. They go to Buck's Lodge, which is going south, and then they come back again. Train reverses and comes back, and they use the commuter trains that you can see right there at the bottom left, bottom center of the screen. The commuter trains, they use those for the train ride. And there's, I guess they're like it's like a sub dispatch center, call center, whatever, local. And then just have the various freight. And if you look at the top of the screen, you can see like it looks like a road. That's gravel. And in between the tracks and that gravel road is the C&O Canal. And the C&O Canal was actually there first before the trains. And of course the trains put the C&O Canal out of business. And at this point, I think there's water still in this part of the C&O Canal. I had an uncle that worked for B&O, and one of his jobs was making up the intermodal, not intermodal. Let's see, what would they call it? They call it a manifest train. So my uncle was responsible for. Well, I had two uncles actually worked for B&O. One was a contractual lawyer, and the other worked in the freight yard. And his job was he'd make up the he would make up the manifest trains, the different loads, and he actually used algebra to put the cars in the right location to be dropped off or to be picked up. Other cars be picked up from facilities, and I think they used like a polynomial to figure this out. And it was like a real no calculators, but this is the 30s. It was all done, on paper. And like I said, my other uncle was a contractual lawyer for the B&O. And CSX, of course, B&O became Chessie, and CSX, the C in CSX is Chessie, the S is Seaboard Railways, which was down on the Eastern Shore, and X is for all the other train companies, I guess you could say, that they'll take over, they'll assume, and turn into CSX. And if you look to the right top, you'll see the Potomac River as the freight yard narrows down or funnels down. And actually, this part of the Potomac, it's quite shallow, and they actually have a park. A lot of people, that's all they can afford. There's like a vacation spot there on the Potomac, and you can boat and swim. They have showers and restrooms, and most people like have tents or campers or something like that, and that's their summer vacation. I mean, it's not bad. The water is it's cool. It's really cool even during the hot summer because it's such a vast amount of water, and it's different than like the beach because for some reason the water in the beach always it warms up a little bit, but the downside is too there's no chlorine in the water, so I don't know how safe it is nowadays because there's a lot of runoff from like cow fields and cow pastures and stuff like that. But like I said, it's really shallow. You can probably walk across at this point. Now, when you get down towards Washington D.C., when you get around Del Carlia water filtration, now the Potomac River gets really dangerous down there. They had there's a small falls. It's like maybe only 3 or 4 feet, and it's where the water for Washington D.C. and also parts of Maryland is where the water intake is. And for I don't know if they're Army or Marine Corps, but they were in a raft and they went over that little, it's only like a 3 or 4 foot drop, and the water is so turbulent there, it will just hold your body underwater, and that's what happened. I think one guy survived, and the rest of them were drowned. And I mean that whole area. It's supposed to be, even if you go swimming, there's like undercurrents will just pull you right down. But this part up here is I've water skied further up, and I've swam in it, when I was a teenager, and it's just like a big open body of water. You can't really feel any current or anything like that. And of course, up by I won't say Charleston, but that's too far. Harper's Ferry, up by Harper's Ferry, there's a confluence. I can't think of I think it's, let's see, what would it be? I can't think of what the river is. It comes in the other river. It's a confluence, and there people go swimming all the time. I've gone swimming there too. But it's nice. It's really nice, and people still do a lot of boating and whatever. A lot of people have water skis, jet skis. They have jet skis, and they'll go right up the Potomac with jet skis. It looks like fun. I might try it sometime.